to the second episode
Welcome
of back.
New
Welcome back.
Mm.
So what are we?
Episode 2.
What are we called?
New
Chat City. I like that.
New
like
Chat
that.
City podcast. Myself, Illa.
Boy Wonder.
The boy Latif Lovejoy, aka the Love Prince.
We got Wayne Riley, aka Wayne Wayne Riley Art coming up very shortly.
Yeah.
And we're on episode 2. We had a wicked episode 1. I hope you guys liked, shared, commented, and
Subscribed.
most of all subscribed. Yeah, so please hit that bell so every time we come up with a new web episode, you guys can click it and check it out. You could tell we're new to this thing, or I'm new to this YouTube thing.
You know the whole YouTube spewel, you know, click, like, subscribe, and all of that stuff.
Subscribe, you know,
Please, it's all at the bottom here. You're going to find it. So please, click on the links
at the
right
very
there.
bottom, man.
Right
We
there,
went
so.
in, man. First episode, we were doing some impromptu things like giving people calls on the spot, asking them to kind of cast their minds back to the good old days when raving was raving, when 90s music was popping, when R&B was the scene. It was fun, man. We had a whole lot of fun doing that.
Talking about that, me and Latif were having a conversation earlier, Illa. This kind of re-emergence of R&B again. Again. You know, it had its era, obviously, its birth, and it had its growth, and then it's making its comeback.
Yeah.
We were saying, why now? Why now in the 2020s? When it's never really gone away as such. It's changed, yeah, but it's grown new legs, it's sprouted new ankles and gone off into a new tangent. But we're starting to see the kind of the traditional R&B come back again, and the appreciation for it.
Yeah.
From all let's say age groups.
This is what I'm saying. It's reconnecting with a new generation now.
Yeah, and we're talking about the old coming back rather than like, you know, the Bryson Tillers or the Brent Fires and stuff like that. So how come you lot all back into R&B now? Like, that's your older sister's music, your older brother's music, uncle, auntie's music. Yeah, what got you into it? I know.
I think it's just like that nostalgia. Everyone likes to sort of, music comes round in circles anyway. So it's like, you know, R&B is not dead, grime is not dead, and then they always have a little resurgence. I think even like there was a point where, you know, funky had a little resurgence, and then garage especially, because then you started seeing, you know, the old school garage heads start doing PAs again.
Absolutely.
And they were started to get booked again.
Yeah.
But with our old school R&B, not R&B, old school R&B. So I'm talking like 89 to like the mid 2000s.
So like New Jack Swing era, right?
New
the
Jack
way
Swing,
through
that's
to, like,
right.
the classic R&B mode.
That's
I
it,
hear
to
that.
the 2000s. It's like, I think people just are fond of nostalgia. And again, I don't think it ever really went away. Everyone was always playing it. I think everyone always had that on their playlist somehow. They always had an old school R&B song or a 2000s noughties.
And you know, in
song.
every club kind of itinerary of what was going to be played, it was always R&B.
Yeah,
It was always that never went.
Yeah.
It
You would
was
never get-
you had the UKG go, you had jungle go, you even had funky go.
Yeah, you would have a set, but it wasn't like
I'm
you wouldn't
putting that on the
advertise
flyer.
on your flyer.
No, you
like,
wouldn't at all.
You know,
No,
it
yeah.
would just literally be R&B, hip hop, bashment.
Yep.
You might have, nowadays we'll be having amapiano.
Yeah.
So, but yeah,
But even that's kind of like a sub-genre now, really.
Yeah, I mean,
You get me?
it's big, but you would have your own amapiano. Like, once you start having your own, you know, raves for the genre,
yeah.
it's big.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't have, you know, like, funky house rave. It wouldn't happen. Like, and then you wouldn't have a garage only rave. Like,
Yeah.
So why do you think it's suddenly become more popular?
like I said,
let's be-
nostalgia. Like I was saying, nostalgia.
even
and
to the younger generation.
But I just think it's a thing where they need something to connect to. I just think that a lot of music. I just think with R&B, 90s R&B, I just think the whole nuance is in the production. It's in the lyrics of the songwriting. It's just in how the vocals were. Do you get me?
I think that's how
Yeah.
we see it. But
Yeah.
for the youngers, I think it's like, remember, I think more the youngers are more into the 2000s. The 2000s felt like it was not to knock it, but I don't think it was as refined in terms of production as the 90s and the New Jack Swing era.
All right, do you know what I'm gonna do? Yeah, I'm gonna ask a youngster. Yo, Renz,
Yo,
how you doing, brother?
I'm not too bad, you.
I'm good. You're kind of live on our podcast, New Chat City, with myself, Boy Wonder, Ilamadi, and
Wagwan Renzino.
and Latif. Now, Renz is one of our young bucks, and Renz is quite a learned guy, young guy. He goes out a lot. You usually see him in the same events as we are in. So, Renz, one of the subjects we're talking about right now is basically why has R&B suddenly made kind of like a return in the scene? Like, I'm talking in the club scene, basically. So you're going to go to events that are going to be exclusively R&B, yeah? So hold tight. You know, that R&B party, we had a wicked night a couple of weekends ago, which is popping. And there was a big audience of young people there. And we're not just talking about playing Brent Fayez and you know, all the new stuff. All right. So
Joe Thomas,
you are a young buck, yeah? You're a young star. Why do you feel that R&B as or why do you think
why do you listen? Like, how
why
come-
do you listen to it again? Yeah, let's say the old school. How did you get into it?
What's the
even?
connection?
Let's just say that most people of my generation are born in 2000, right? So a lot of us are like just like the new Gen Z, like we're the old Gen Z, we're the just coming off the millennials or the Gen X or whatever you want to call it before us. Anyway, so just off the 90s, we're just based off 2000, so we're not far from the 90s. So in a sense, all the music, all the R&B that was like in our childhood and everything, like we remember things. Like growing up, we had MTV, most of us done anyway. We had a TV, we had radio back when we were younger. You had older siblings.
Yeah.
A lot of them will be playing them type of tunes there. You'll hear it all over. You'll hear Ja Rule, you'll hear Shanti, you'll hear Mariah Carey, Fat Joe, you know, Biggie, you know what I mean? So like that stayed in our childhood. So as we grow up now, we're old enough to obviously
Go out.
go out and do what some of them lyrics say. Experience lifestyle. So you know what I mean? Like we understand what they're saying now. Back in the day, we used to just sing along because it sounded good.
You sang along because it sounded good.
Yeah,
Now you
man,
know what,
go
on. You know what they're talking about.
Yeah, man. We've had a few relationships now. We've had a few situationships. You know what I mean? Like black men don't cheat in it, but obviously, like some people might have done that too. You know what I mean? Like so, we now know what we've been hearing when we was younger. And done it.
So all in all,
what I mean?
it was still part of your childhood, even though you were younger.
Yeah.
So you could appreciate it growing up as well, obviously.
Yeah, of course. It connects now, isn't it? It connects. The dots connect now.
So now, basically, he knows what all the lyrics
older,
mean. He knows what all the innuendos
especially
mean.
how there's been a lack. Like obviously, music's changed. The landscape of music's changed.
Of course.
Changed. You know what I mean? So now you can appreciate the sounds and like them tunes more now. You know what I mean?
Nah, I hear you. Yo, Reds, thanks for that input because, we wanted to get it firsthand from a Gen Z. I know you're not a Gen Z. You're slightly, maybe. What year were you born in, by the way?
I mentioned it. I was born in 2000, so I'm like the original
2000. So he's like 23, 24
Ah,
years
yeah.
He's-
Makes sense.
Well, we're
100%
come off the
millennial.
back end of the 90s, so it's like
Right, yeah.
If it's like when you're coming from like 2000 and like 3, 4, 5 and down them, they might have lost that connection. But
All right.
You would have just missed out.
Yeah.
on the dot.
Yes,
So
nah, you got it on the cusp. Yeah.
Right on the cusp.
Yo, Renz, big up for that, man. We'll link up soon, yeah? Nah, bless up.
That's interesting, you know. You
Yeah.
hear certain 90s tunes as well as a kid. I mean, I'm probably going to put my mindset to where their mindset is now, innit? So it's almost like, when you just listen to these tunes subliminally when you're growing up, and then all of a sudden you get to a certain age now where you're a bit more coherent. And you're like, well, hold on, that's a metaphor for sucking dick, or that's a metaphor for...
Nah,
You know what I mean? You start
But
thinking,
like
"Rah."
he said, it all comes. He was mentioned his elders.
Yeah.
So when you're listening to these songs, it's because of your elders.
Yeah.
Like there was this video clip of these really, really young primary school away in the States, primary school kids belting out Keisha Cole.
Oh,
I
yeah,
saw
I
that.
saw that.
Yeah, so everyone's thinking, how do they know about these songs? It's obviously their parents.
Mum, dad.
So, but they
Big
see
bro,
how
sis.
how their parents react to that song, and so it's just played constantly.
subliminal, innit? Yeah.
So, like Ren's, his older sisters or brothers or
Yeah.
siblings, they would have been playing those songs at that
actually-
era.
yeah.
He probably would have been about 4 or 5 years old. Imagine just
He
hearing
was
that, hearing it.
exposed
Then
to that,
later
innit?
on, when you're old enough to go out, you start hearing those songs again.
And then you're already familiar
Nostalgia.
with that's actually very true, because it kind of got me thinking, like, when you see people like, say, Michael Jackson, for example, he must have been listening to James Brown's tunes from like the 70s, 60s.
That's right,
You
yeah.
know, for him to now do his own kind of reincarnation of that.
That's
so to
it.
speak. And then you look at, because I remember like first discovering like Belle Biv DeVoe and Another Bad Creation and Heavy D, when my cousin used to have all of these photos up.
Hold
in
tight,
his-
Jenny.
Yeah,
I'm just
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
put you on the
yard.
show in a
I
little
said,
bit.
who are these people? That introduced me to that.
Yeah.
I was a youth them times. So
So
he's basically reenacting our lives.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
just
yeah.
his time.
full circle,
Yeah.
circle. But like, you're not gonna listen to the songs you when you were a teenager
Yeah,
or
yeah.
whatever. It's usually from when you were younger. As soon as you're able to like bop your head, as long as it sounds good.
Yeah.
It's just your environment.
Then
I think
everything
is
just
what's
comes
gonna.
back. Yo,
like,
Jenny.
Is that Jenny Francis?
No, I wish it was. No, this is baby girl Jenny. Jenny, talk to me.
Hello.
Hey, Jenny, don't be shy.
You got that R&B
You're
voice
kind of
already.
live on the New Chat City podcast with myself, Boy Wonder, Ilamadi, and Love Boy Latif.
Hey.
So, hey, we're talking about R&B and it's kind of re-emergence back on the scene again. And you obviously have R&B has a special place in your heart.
Most definitely.
Yeah, so I want to know, like, what do you prefer? Old school R&B, new school R&B, or now school R&B?
I'm definitely an old school R&B because that shows my age, and that's just like the best way of making music, if I'm honest. The new school R&B is trying to kind of tap back into the old school. I think that there was a point in time where we kind of lost the mark along the way when it comes to R&B.
True
And
that.
everybody was kind of veering off from it and
Yeah.
trying other things, which is not a problem when it comes to music because all things are creative. But yet still, when you hold on to the old landmark of certain things, especially when it comes to R&B, you don't want to let that go. So you hold tight to the Avant and the
I hear that.
and
I hear that.
yeah,
I hear that.
the Charlie Wilsons,
Uh-huh.
and.
Now you obviously if you guys don't know about Jenny, she is an amazing vocalist and has done work with Wizkid on tour, private events.
Yes,
and,
Jenny.
and also
Jenna G.
sings at a choir as well.
Hey, my guy, I didn't even hear him in the back.
Yeah, he's playing the cut. What makes you want to go out to R&B events? Why do you think R&B events are becoming bigger now? Like, we talked about nostalgia. We talked to Renz. Renz talked about it still being nostalgic because he grew up in the 2000s.
Yeah.
For
most
you, why do you think
definitely.
that is? Why are you going out to R&B events? And why do you think they're out
think
now
it is.
again?
I think it is just nostalgic. I mean, this weekend past, you had the likes of Tweet. Who else was here?
Wembley Arena.
Cisco,
Yeah.
John
R&B
Mathis,
block
like
party.
Drew Hill.
R&B block
Yeah.
party,
Everybody
yeah.
was here, and it was Rams. Why? Because everybody wants to tap back into that moment. Because if you've ever experienced real R&B, it's going to be attached to a memory that you won't forget. And because of that memory, that's what motivates people to want to experience and relive that moment.
All
Because
right.
it takes you back to that point in time. You know what I mean? When old
So
school
true.
R&B even came out, I mean, those times, those were like the good old days. Life wasn't as those were before the millennials. Those were like the
True.
90s and everything like that, where life was a little bit easier.
We
But,
used to still play outside.
yeah, when you could still play
Culture was so
outside and you
different,
wasn't
man.
getting shot or stabbed or
yeah,
something like that.
100.
So
Nah, I hear that. Jenny, thank you so much for your input. Yeah, we're going to catch up on the flip side.
okay, love you guys.
Love you, Jen.
Take care,
You
Jen.
know what she alluded to there? That's so important, bro. Narrative, man.
Yeah.
That's what 90s R&B had so much of. Narrative, storytelling, even the videos, the way they were shot, it all made sense.
You're right.
Do you know what I'm trying to say? There was a beginning, a middle, and an end, where now I kind of feel that
Put me in a studio with bright lights, random objects, dance troops, and
that's
we're
it.
done.
And then we're done.
Yeah.
There's not really any sort of screenplay going on.
Yeah.
And that's what I think she meant by people attaching a memory to the 90s, because every single video, it was almost like we remember, say, the Drew Hill video. We even reenacted it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When everyone was just doing that bop, right?
Yeah.
It's iconic. Everyone knows that. Everyone knows
But
that
I think
bop.
also in terms of it's her personal memory as well of when did she
Where
first
was
hear
she?
that?
Where was she?
I?
Yeah.
What do I remember about that song? Because all your favorite songs, all your favorite cartoons, all your favorite TV show is always attached. Even favorite people, is attached to a memory you had with them or about them.
Oh yeah.
Like for example, I don't know. We loved that. For example, apart from obviously, you know, the bad side of it. 2020, for example.
Oh yeah.
Pandemic year, for example. We loved that year. 2020 was one of the best years for us.
Creatively,
creatively. And so I'm fond of now anybody that I met during that era. Any I don't know, DJ, any person, any friend that I made that, you know, that era, any establishment I went, any venue I went, because it always takes me back there. So it's the same with this music, 90s. She's saying that memory that you attach to it. And I think it all, again, boils down to nostalgia. Everybody just loves nostalgia.
Absolutely.
You know, if something can trigger that, then you're on to a winner.
And you know what? That being an operative word, you know, is that a word? Is operative? Is that a word?
We're gonna say it is.
You know,
New chat.
I had a couple
If it
splits
isn't,
on
if
my
it
way
isn't,
here
it is
today.
now.
I'm
It
joking.
sounds operative.
Yeah, that sounds operative. No, I used to work with this Asian guy. This guy called Kesh. We used to do telesales together.
Yeah.
And I remember whenever we used to do telesales now, like the 6 to 9 p.m. shift, there was an old Blackstreet album there, innit?
Yeah.
Right.
Their first album.
Okay.
And I remember the first half of it used to be really upbeat.
I remember-
upbeat,
yes,
upbeat.
yep,
Then
yep.
there was a part of the album that just went to ballads.
Yes, slow
Right,
down. Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Bruv, the minute we got to sort of like the second ballad on there, like as soon as Love in Need was playing, like the
Yeah.
Stevie Wonder cover,
Yeah.
Kesh was like, turn it off. I'm gonna cry. Bring back too much memories.
Oh wow.
Turn it off. Just turn it off.
That's deep.
100%.
That's how deep it got.
Yeah.
Nah, I get too emotional listening to this, man. Turn it off. Turn it
Yeah.
off.
No.
yeah.
You're right. You're
It's
right.
crazy.
Like,
And bro.
That's like say however old he was. But then you're also now, remember there's the 2000s now. So old school R&B is considered 90s and 2000s.
Absolutely.
And I
yeah.
feel more so 2000s because more of the people who are coming out to party and
that
into the
age
clubs
group,
are
yeah.
of that age group.
But you know what's so mad, yeah? And this is kind of slowly veering off, but it's still kind of, it's connected. I watched this clip the other day and they were talking about nightclub culture, right? And apparently, 2019, there was 1,900, I believe, nightclubs in the whole of the UK.
Yeah.
And then statistically, they discovered that currently now, there's only 700 nightclubs.
big chop.
Yeah.
That's
the
a big
nightclub
show.
industry is
you know what I mean?
finished.
So I think the point I'm making is kind of like, it's just mad. I think the R&B is just finding itself in different events now. It's finding itself
It's in brunches now.
Yeah, it's
I feel
finding
that.
itself
Do you
in-
know what? I
in
feel that
various,
it might even
environments.
be. I might be wrong, but could it be a business move? You know, if there was 900 or 1900
Yeah,
clubs
yeah. Well,
and there's now
apparently,
700, there may have been a reason. First of all, what was playing in those other clubs? What kind of music genres?
Well, the
what kind of
reason is-
the demographics? What demographics were
But
coming
listen,
to that?
R&B's always been a staple of clubs, though.
So that means if that place that is now shut was playing any other thing other than R&B, the ones that are surviving, if you've still got R&B there, I'm going to put it out there and say maybe R&B events are safer and I've got a low risk, for example. Obviously, there's loads of different reasons a club is going to close. I'm not saying because you were playing.
No, if you said 2019, the blatant obvious reason is lockdown. After lockdown,
No, 1900 clubs, you said.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, from
it was
1900, from
approximately about
29 from
1900 to like
2019,
700 now.
from 2019, yeah,
2019.
of course.
Oh,
and then
loads
it
of
was-
100%
closed.
lockdown had a big
it's
thing to do
lockdown.
with it.
So after the lockdown era, it felt like obviously nightclub now it was even harder to get back into it. Once you lose that momentum, it's like you lost that momentum. It just knocked the wind out of their sails. Trying to regain that again now, it was so hard. So now everybody was looking at alternatives. So now
How
the
do we
brunch era,
adapt? Yeah.
brunch era was now on the
How's-
rise, which
yeah.
was
You know what,
already
though?
in
Yeah.
there beforehand.
Yeah.
But I feel lockdown helped push that
I think
into a
lockdown's part of
trajectory.
it. No, I totally get that, Ilan. I totally agree with you. But I think lockdown's a part of it. But I also think what's also a part of it is how the environment has changed. Yeah, it's the fact that people want to go to nightclubs. Well, when people did go to nightclubs, there was a certain element of there was too much duty. I had to dress a certain way. I can't wear trainers, and then I've got to go through this security.
Yeah,
And
that
then
was the
there's
worst era.
You know what I mean?
That
Then
was
there's
the
issues
worst
with
era.
my drink possibly getting spiked. And there's certain kinds of guys that will be there that might try to talk to me. I may not be comfortable with that.
Yeah.
There might be certain man in there for the wrong reasons.
Yeah,
So I think
yeah.
those things are also associated with the fact of nightclubs dying down. The reason why I think brunches and those things are on the rise is because I think in terms of the time slots, I think they're user friendly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they force people to be more interactive.
Yeah. They bring
think
a different clientele
They bring a
out at
different
that time.
clientele out.
Yeah.
You get me? And then
Everyone's
you know,
home by like 8 o'clock,
8
and then
o'clock.
Max.
nice. So you're as well bringing a different type of clientele. The ones who you would rarely go out in the night because of obviously I don't know babysitting duties or they're too young or whatever like that. Now you see people more so. First of all, dress code is a lot more relaxed during brunches. There is no dress code. It's you dress however you want, and I feel even that happened after lockdown. It felt like
Yeah, I noticed
there's no
that as well.
need to like everyone started coming out casual. Like there's no need to enforce these strict dress codes anymore. So I think the era of shoes and hard shoes and all that is gone. So that as well as different demographic because of the timing now. You're out early, you're back early. So you could literally now you've seen people raving with their mums, their aunties. It's becoming more like family friendly.
Absolutely.
Do you know what
Yeah,
though?
they
I'm
even
gonna
touched upon
say
it
I
in the
kind of
video.
miss a little bit of that element, especially when it comes going back to R&B and that kind of its resurgence. I miss going out dressing up. I'm
know
not gonna
what?
lie, I really do miss
you know
going
what?
out dressing up.
But get what's now replaced it is when now we're doing galas. So for example, it makes it more of an occasion.
Yeah. it's
You know,
more
if
memorable.
imagine every week you're having to dress up and it will get a bit like you won't go out every
Yeah,
week,
yeah,
you
you
know.
won't now.
But now with we've got like galas which are happening, and these galas are not. And they're still during the daytime. They're still family, friendly,
the
and
white parties,
yeah,
the
like
black parties
they're
and stuff
all
like that.
during the
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
daytime. So literally, because literally, like again, the nightclub industry is now like the brunch industry. It's had to adapt. That's why now you get restaurants who double up as
clubs.
brunch
Yeah,
venues.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
That's true
because
as well,
you
yeah.
can't survive purely on just being a restaurant.
Yeah.
Now you see restaurants playing R&B.
Yeah.
Now you see restaurants hosting brunches.
Yeah.
Now you see restaurants doing karaoke,
Yeah.
events. And R&B is usually a very, very
forefront of
popular
Yeah.
karaoke
yeah.
thing. And I think that is also part of the resurgence of it. It's like everybody just likes to just that memory of singing in front of the mirror. Now you get to do it in front of everybody. When we do old school R&B brunch, for example,
Yeah.
that's like the highlight.
Entree.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to be that superstar. Like for
Talking
that
about
moment.
superstar,
I like that as well.
Enter.
I love that element.
Yeah.
enter. Yeah. Shame on you.
Shame on you.
Shame
like
on
some
you.
like
Coming
some
in black man time.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Quick intermission. I only bought a few little things. It's not heavy like last time.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's cool. Bring it up.
Bring it up.
That's how you do it.
well, we live.
Hey, we're live and direct, brother.
We could be
It's
setting
like-
up in the
Yeah,
background.
we could have waited 45
could've waited
minutes
for
for
you,
you,
man.
but nah.
But I'm loving the haberdashery, bro. I'm loving the haberdashery.
Guys, hey, Wayne,
know.
come in here so the people
Yeah,
can see
let
what
him
you're
settle,
looking
let
at.
him
We got
settle.
the 2 cameras set up, so we're gonna.
Yeah.
This is
as
Wayne
soon as you
Riley
pass
art.
the lights, your swag is gonna get in.
Jeez,
Please look at this.
come on.
Please
Look at this.
Everything happy match.
Everything
yeah?
happened match. Me like
The
that.
Yardy Pikachu.
Yeah, man.
Everything. Hey, Wayne Riley.
I'm sorry
Yes,
for being
man.
late.
It's all good, my brother.
I'm the
You're
only
here.
man from South getting across the river, so
I
No,
hear
we
you.
appreciate
that.
We
I hear you,
appreciate
man.
that,
So
man.
are you gonna do the setup while we chat or what? What are you gonna do?
I'm just introducing my fine face for now.
Yeah, do your
Like
thing.
intermission, and I'll come back.
Please, no, come talk to the people then, please. Come to.
We saying, Wayne Riley. Groove me.
Baby, tonight. Hey, that should just be our intro every time.
New
we
Chat
start.
City, ladies and gentlemen. Myself,
wait.
Illa.
We and Riley. Come on, you gotta say it.
Come on, you got to say it with the
Talk
chest.
the
man.
What me
talk.
to say? I
You
mean,
say your name, bro.
Wayne Riley Art. You can find me on Instagram, all one word. Part of the Sip and Stroke family. I don't know what I'm classed as. I'm not classed as an 80s baby, am I?
Well, yeah, you
Because
are.
I'm 1979.
Yeah, but you
But 70s babies won't claim me because they'll think I'm young people.
So you are an 80s baby.
You're an 80s baby. You're an 80s baby who had your peak in the 90s.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, by the way, that's how
Well,
it
you're-
should technically be labeled. 70s babies
Are 80s
born in
babies.
70s
I
are
think-
80s babies.
Yeah,
I think I can travel between both timelines.
absolutely.
That's what I think.
Do you?
But
Okay, let
that's
me
what
ask
makes-
you one question.
I haven't got the Infinity Gauntlet, but I've got the Infinity Swag.
Do you remember? Do you remember
This guy.
songs from the 70s?
Some.
Would you say? You were born in the 70s, late 70s.
Yeah.
Then baby during the 80s. So what genre of music would be more prominent in your childhood growing up? Would it be
That's
70s,
such a
80s, or
good question.
90s?
I couldn't even answer that after Wayne.
I couldn't even name the genre, but I could name some of the artists.
Yeah.
Chaka Khan,
Yeah,
So she was
She went both.
70s, yeah, 80s, yeah.
Chanel Alexander O'Neill,
yeah,
Yeah.
They again,
Luther Vandross,
absolutely.
80s.
80s, yeah.
Yeah.
Gap,
Cusp of
the Gap
70s.
Band,
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Phaso,
So I would say a lot.
Riding High,
Yeah.
SOS.
yeah.
Yeah, definitely,
See,
definitely prominently 80s
Probably
then.
80. But those
Yeah.
artists, though.
You can't stop the rain.
Yeah, alright.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
definitely.
But what was so dope about but what was so
guy.
dope about that though is that a lot of those artists had a lot of prominence in the 90s as well because they still were sustainable.
Oh no, 100%.
No, that's
I
the
would say a
difference
lot of
again
them also.
old
Just
school
quickly,
R&B.
they literally start at the cusp of the 70s because there's a lot of 78, 79.
Yeah, because if you
But then they blew and flew
but
in
what's
the
mad is
80s.
even if you're born in 84, 85, you're still part of that
100%.
generation.
That's
anyway.
it.
Yeah.
So you-
a
so you
good
still have the same
example
fabric.
of that is someone like the group New Edition.
Yeah.
Like I didn't realize they were from the 70s.
Yeah.
Like they
Yeah,
started
they formed
in
in
the
78.
70s.
Yeah.
78.
And then
Yeah.
broke up.
Bell Biv DeVoe. Then
Yeah.
Johnny Gill went solo.
Yeah.
Then they come back again in the 90s. So
Yeah.
they did the 80s. Well,
Yeah.
the 70s, they did. Remember, 70s, they were kids. They were like, cool.
They,
in,
I think they
Yeah.
formed
The
in
formed-
1978.
Yeah, formed in
Yeah.
78. I swear it was even
You
77.
remember the clip of them when in Knight Rider?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, yeah.
I remember my favorite New Edition tune at that time, Mr.
Telephone man, there's something wrong with my line.
When I dial my baby's number, I get a click every time. That's a tune.
I'll
No,
admit
that was
I don't
big.
have that record
My sister
still.
used to love that
That
tune.
was big. That was, and I found that tune later.
Yeah, this is
so
what I'm
this
saying.
is in. I think I was listening or watching. Sorry, the New Edition,
the film,
the biopic. Yeah. So that's when I also found out. Wow, these guys were in the
In the
70s.
70s, yeah.
And then the 80s, they were prominent.
Yeah.
And then the 90s,
Yeah.
when they were doing the whole.
That's what's so mad about New Edition. I mean, they are the definition of kind of like, what's the word? Rebranding yourself. Like,
Longevity.
longevity. Because if you think about So their hits were early 80s, right? Candy Girl, Mr. Telephone Man, and all of that kind of stuff. Then they kind of, so then when we're talking about sort of like 89, 90, they broke up, right? Bell Beef the Road was formed. Ralph Tresvant had Sensitivity. And then Bobby Brown had all those hits for like 86, 87, 88, 89.
And you remember
And
that
Johnny Gill.
Coming Home? Was it Coming Home?
96 that
Hit
album
me
came out.
on.
No, that was Homecoming.
That was
Homecoming.
Hit me off.
Hit me off.
Home Again.
Hit
Me Off.
That was a wicked album.
I was listening to that album just the other day.
Yeah, and that ballad
Beautiful
that
album.
had I'm still in love with you.
Big
songs.
You know, Puffy produced on that album, though, innit?
Yeah, I know.
Are we allowed to mention that?
Well,
Hey,
we're
of course
talking
it
about
can.
Puff, not Diddy.
We could
so.
talk, we'll talk about
Two different.
But we got to move on to another question, man.
What's that?
the other question, I liked it, man.
Yeah. Do you want to do the other question?
Yeah. Do you guys believe Diddy or do you guys believe Diddy? Did he
I
do
was
it?
at a
Did he not?
podcast about that.
So that wasn't even on the topic, but I thought let me
I'm going to
throw it
send you
in
guys
there.
a stand-up clip. I forgot what the comedian's name is.
Andrew Schwartz.
Have you
Schultz.
seen it?
Andrew Schultz.
Schultz. Yeah,
Have you seen that routine?
I have.
I think...
What is it? What will happen?
As a
Let's
commu-
play that routine now.
Yeah,
actually,
let's play the routine.
listen.
Yeah.
Watch the routine now.
LA, I got tired, man. I got tired of the media trying to smear this great city. Every time I turn on the TV, they're saying you're a bunch of criminals, drug addicts, and pedophiles, and it's bullshit. That is not the whole city. That is a very small, specific section of the city. It's called Diddy's house. That is, listen.
Power of transition.
So yeah,
Yeah.
that is quite raw. He is a raw comedian, but you're gonna make these comedians are gonna make jokes out of everything
absolutely.
of
Yeah,
anybody. He may have even
target.
been one of those people associated with him, or at least partied with him somewhere.
yeah.
But hey, someone's
I
got to be
think
the full
everyone
guy.
in Hollywood at some point has been to those infamous Diddy parties. Now, how involved you were in them, that's another question.
You and
whether
Kojo
saw
covered
something-
this still.
Yeah, whether you saw something and then you said, "Hey, that looks like my type of steam," or not. That's another thing. But also people, if they did see anything which they thought this looks real suspect. Obviously, nobody said anything like publicly at the time. It's all coming back now, and all it boils down to is also I'm not condoning it, but the error that it all or maybe started in and whatever.
And it depends who's telling the story.
No, but
I feel. But hold on, I feel the error was also one of those times where these things. It was acceptable in the 90s. Almost
Free
like
Nick and all that.
it could run. You get me?
Well,
that it's
first
like-
of all, it depends on what we're talking about that can run.
that's true. Things like
I think there was like an overt nature in the 90s, innit? It was kind of like almost like sort of sex, drugs, rock and roll. Because I just thought to myself, actually, that could all even be surface level, because when you consider the magnitude of when R. Kelly would come to Wembley Arena back in the day, when Bobby Brown would come, or when Diddy would come, the concert was mad, right? So you could imagine the after party, backstage,
hotel,
the hotel,
the tour bus,
the stuff happening before the concert, the stuff happening whilst the concert's going on backstage. So we're only
it's like a culture of
it's mad.
So what's the question though, really? Because we're kind of
the real question is he guilty of everything that's being chucked at him? We're talking from sex
don't
trafficking.
think so.
We're talking from having underage girls in these
Remember,
parties.
there's a lot of extortionists.
I don't think so, for the simple fact that this goes back to what I was saying before with this whole cancelling thing. You should have said it when it happened if it was really an issue. That's how I feel. Now, obviously, some people.
Do you mean the people that were involved?
Yeah. Like, if you're coming out now, it's like, I've said it before. Cancel me when I work at Sainsbury's. Don't try cancel me when I'm making millions. Because did it really bother you then? Or are you just bothered by the fact that this person has done something, now they've bust? Because if he done something to you and then he was just an underground battle rapper and wasn't making no money, would you care? And then it makes me ask myself, is your trauma for sale? You with me? And I've never
That's a
rated it.
perspective.
I've never rated it.
Is
Some
your
people will think
trauma
some people will think I'm an enabling Puffy, but I've been team Tupac all day. So it's been Bun Puffy from Wedday. So it's not that, is it? I just feel that if you're on cancelling someone, do it if you really want to.
But remember, these Puffy, allegations. People been talking about it for time.
Yeah.
I remember from
And why has it become
2000s
popular to?
and everybody was like, oh yeah, he's gay and he does these gay. If he was and if he is, so what?
Okay, so
like if you're doing those parties and you're having whatever with guys, that's like your prerogative, innit? So there's actually nothing wrong with that. Like the only fact is he's probably not gonna admit it or not gonna come out and say
What
that.
I can say about LA, like I know loads of people have been there, so it's not just me in it. But the thing about LA, I've noticed is people are very out there in LA. There's a lot of the out there culture is very, very big. So for example, you would see a lot of bisexuality out there. You would see certain rappers, even the buskers that are even on road just rapping and stuff. A lot of them they're quite sort of very kind of bisexually oriented. A lot of them are homosexuals. You wouldn't necessarily know because you're looking at the surface, and the surface will tell you, these guys are rappers, them MCs, and but behind closed doors, a lot of those guys are not what we see them or perceive them to be.
But they wouldn't put that out there to the public, would they?
Absolutely not. Absolutely
Yeah.
not.
But
So a lot of it happens behind closed doors.
So if it's about did he?
We're not
have
talking about
sex
his
with-
sexuality. We're
Yeah,
not
that's
talking
it.
about
That's
his
what I'm saying.
sexuality.
If we're doing about did he have
that
sex
bit
with
ain't
this
gonna
guy,
get you going to jail.
That doesn't,
No,
yeah,
no,
that doesn't
We're
get-
talking about
now when they're talking
what
about
is
let's say
being
the sex
accused
trafficking,
of.
The
whatever.
alleged things that
Like
happen.
I was actually talking to Kojo,
Goalpost
comedian,
Moves, man.
and
Yeah.
he made a good point. He said, sex trafficking. If I flew a girl out from I don't know LA to London or the other way around, purely for the fact that I want to have a party with her and have a fun time with her,
Yeah.
and then she could come out and say that's sex trafficking.
Yeah.
Because I'm literally transporting her from one venue of one country or one place,
another-
even not
that's-
even
that's
LA,
another-
from
that's another
Birmingham,
perspective.
for
It
example.
Goes back to what I said about the
another
moving
perspective.
goalposts.
Yeah.
And my other question, the people that are saying that Puffy was that way inclined, because you're saying people were saying it from back in the day. My question is, was that pre or post Life After Death by Biggie?
Well, do you know what?
Because if it
Yeah.
was before, where's your diss record? Because right now, if you even sit next to a snitch, you're getting dissed. So where are all these rappers from BK, NY dissing Biggie? Because I know he had a little passer with Jeru the Damager and whatever.
Yeah,
that
yeah,
tune
yeah.
kicking the door.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
was talking about a few of them, man, still.
But Biggie was always subliminal anyway. Biggie,
Yeah, he can be subliminal, but
yeah,
what
yeah.
I'm saying is, like, you don't get as direct as Tupac them times
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Where are all these other rappers? If you believe that you knew what was going on with Puffy them times there, because I believe they knew in it, especially
Yeah.
if you're from NY, you're closer to him than Tupac was.
Well, you
so
know
you
what?
know.
Yeah.
So why wasn't you dissing him on record then?
Other people should be held accountable, and other people should be stepping forward.
Well, yes, yes, they should. So I'll tell you why. Because when they're ready, they're gonna diss another rapper. They'll diss a rapper. Like it's like Drake right now. He's dissing Meek Mill, but he ain't responding to Kendrick Lamar. That's suspect to me, bro.
The big three, nigga, it's just big me. If you've heard that Kendrick diss,
Yeah,
it's
but back to the whole Puffy thing.
It's Kendrick.
And furthermore, Mary J. Blige of all people, I would have like.
Thought she came
Well,
with
actually,
something.
that's a very good point.
Because
Wayne,
look how her husband's done her.
Yeah.
So you would have
yeah.
thought she would be anti-man for like.
And the thing is, that's actually true because Mary J. Blige was Diddy's entourage from '91.
Yeah.
from the My Life.
she's
from
not
the My
said
Life
it,
album.
but get this,
hasn't
none
said
of the
a word.
artists
None of
have
us
said
are-
anything.
Faith
none of the
Evans hasn't said
Jodeci-
anything.
No one has
Lil'
said
Kim
anything.
hasn't said anything.
Yeah.
No one has said anything.
I think
So
everyone is
I don't
waiting
think everyone
for
wants
the
to
clue to come in.
Yeah, nobody
Yeah.
wants
Everyone's
to
waiting.
be associated with what is going on because
Yeah.
imagine if you're a bad boy artist, the ones who were grateful about he took my publishing,
Yeah,
even
yeah.
them haven't
They haven't really
come
said
out.
I think
much.
Mace has
What's
said
it called?
something.
Mark
Mace
Curry
has
said something.
Mark Curry said, "I've been saying this from early." Is it Gene
Deal. Gene Deal's been saying
He's
so
been
much that I don't
saying
know what to take
So
seriously.
now, but he's loving this time because now it's like, see, I told you
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
So my question originally, what do you guys personally think after taking into consideration people not talking, people not next to him not talking,
Yeah.
associates not talking? What is it that
I think he's done a
is
few-
going to be the outcome of all
Yeah,
Let me
this?
tell you something about America.
I don't think he's getting charged.
We all know this already, and I can comprehensively tell you this with so much confidence. Yeah, money is king. So no matter what you've done, there's there's your reputational element that could get affected, but in America, if you've got the ability to dish out a certain amount of money, hush money as they call it, say, right, I'm going to give you said £1 million, don't say anything, murmur the rumours or just keep them completely quiet. A lot of the time, you pay people off, people wouldn't talk, man.
Yeah, with the Diddy situation,
You know what I mean?
It's like, what is he actually being accused? Because there's so many things he's been accused of.
There's been various things. So there's been
First,
the
it started
sex
off with the
trafficking.
sex trafficking.
There's
Then it
been
was
certain inappropriate things that he's done. Certain sort of
sexual abuse to
yes,
guys and girls.
All of that
Yeah,
kind
but
of
even
stuff.
the sex trafficking thing ain't making it because we're in an era now when people are calling you broke if you're not flying a girl out.
Well,
So it's like it's
some
again
people
it goes
may
back to
argue
that moving goalpost
that
thing.
a lot of girls are willingly going out to these environments,
Yeah.
knowing what's at stake.
Yeah.
But they're still willingly doing it. So not all of them, obviously.
Yeah,
but-
somebody also said if it's young girls, then who should know better?
Yeah.
You know,
who's taking
of course
advantage
that
who.
young girl's gonna think, oh, superstar, flying me out, blah blah blah.
But you know the thing about America though, bro? Like the thing about the States is like from very, very young, everyone's kind of thought to be on this entrepreneurial path, right? So it's really all about making money because their system is very different to what we have over here. America, if you're broke, there's no such thing as welfare helping you or saving you.
You're
they haven't
broke,
really
you're
got
broke.
a benefit state as such.
Right.
It's really about you trying to find something that you're good at and hustling till you get to a point where you
I'll go with
kind of
that
do
still.
it to a certain element of legality, and that's pretty much it, really. Unfortunately, so it's
so
quite.
what is that alluding to? Anyone who went to those parties was there for an opportunity, or
Everyone's
was
for
there
sale, bruv.
Of
trying to get
course.
a gig,
Of course.
trying to be signed?
Listen, that's how it works in Hollywood, right? So, for example, I've heard that Eddie Murphy casts a lot of young up and coming actors who are friends with his children or who basically come to his house because apparently he opens up his doors to a lot of people in the industry. So if you're around Eddie's yard jamming with him and his wife and Eddie's like, oh, I'm writing a movie, you're going to be the first choice in that film because he sees you every single day.
Right.
It doesn't matter how many people are doing a casting tape. If you're around Eddie Murphy's yard, that's how Jermaine Fowler got cast in Coming to America too. He was always at Eddie's
Always
yard.
at Eddie's house. Ella, what do you think? What do you
right,
think's
so-
going to be the outcome?
So I think with the Diddy
First of all, do
situa-
you think he did it, or do you think he?
I think there is definitely elements of stuff that he did.
He did that shit. Guilty as fuck.
What elements
whether
are
they-
you thinking he did? What do you think that? Yeah, he
Like-
did that, or he could have done that.
I think that
of
stuff that would be
exploitation.
in
And
the
illegal
the
stuff.
inappro-
Illegal stuff.
I don't think
Oh,
anything.
okay,
I don't think.
inappropriate then.
I don't think
Inappropriate.
anything illegal, inappropriate, morally wrong. But I also think if they were with adults, then it's a very, very tough. You can't. It's a very thin line between, consensual and then drunk consensual. Like you all that. But at the end of the day, if they're adults and adults, I feel the cancel culture basically just took off and that is what is hurting him.
Yeah.
After the Cassie situation, plus the whole Me Too movement, nothing wrong with that, but I feel that the resurgence of, the whole female empowerment, all of that, like we're gonna bring back, cases from years back, the R. Kelly situation, the Bill Cosby,
Cosby.
situation.
Noel
I just
Clark.
feel like it's his turn. Like now it's Diddy's time. And
Well, as in, they're
unfortunately-
targeting him, or he done something. So
I feel
that's why
everybody
he's-
did something. I feel everybody
He's
had,
just a
if they-
fool guy at the time, isn't
Yeah, I just feel
It's
like
like a
if-
modern day
yeah.
episode of 24, bro.
Yeah, I'm kind of
Yeah,
with
you
Illo
know
on
what I
that,
mean?
because
just
you do kind of see a pattern, and I think the way to alleviate any controversy is to keep your receipts in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
Johnny,
who's
Johnny
gonna-
Depp was a master at doing that. Bro.
Yeah.
when he got his allegations.
Even down to, I'm going to say something that's going to be scam weird and mad inappropriate, but it's like even down to say things like sex parties, for example,
Yeah.
like these people go to. Some people might get gassed and they'll go, but what they don't realize is that's being filmed by somebody.
Yeah, yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
absolutely. Yeah,
and you
yeah,
never
yeah.
know. Nothing might never come of it. But let you blow up now when you're someone that's.
happens all
Then
the
it's like,
time, though.
no. Hang on a minute. Give me some of that, or this is coming out.
That's it. Happened to
Blackmail,
Kevin
innit?
Hart.
I think literally
Happened to
that's what it
Kevin
was.
Hart.
It was
Yeah.
sex parties happening, consenting adults, because you don't just walk into a sex party accidentally.
Yeah, yeah,
You don't
yeah.
get
Yeah.
invited to a sex party accidentally.
Yeah, I
But
think
you-
that's what it is.
and
I
then
think that's
what
it
happens
could
now
be.
is people are saying, you know what? There's an opportunity here. I'm gonna take advantage of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
And
that's
especially
my
if you're
take on it.
desperate.
Yeah,
and,
and
it's
yeah.
like imagine you're a guy or a girl. You haven't got that much money coming in. You know what I mean? And like you said, America, they don't have like a safety net of
basis,
like
they
benefits.
don't, yeah.
So then boom, you know what? If I just say this, he could break me off a little.
Yeah.
It is what it is,
and it does happen.
and it might not even be.
A lot.
It might not even be legit. What you're.
Yeah.
It might just be a fabrication or exaggerated.
So Wayne, what's your take on it then? After all you've said,
I reckon he's passively involved in a lot of the things that he's being accused of, but I don't think he's like the sole proprietor
sex
of these things.
trafficking,
Do you know what I
definitely
think it
involved
is,
in
though,
that. In any way that you put it, sex trafficking, whether flying people over,
Yeah.
bringing people from other states.
I reckon
Did
he.
he
I reckon he's done
Do you know
that.
what it is with people like that? Yeah.
Wait, he's asking me, man.
Oh, sorry.
You have
yeah.
your time.
Good.
So, what do you think?
I
With
reckon.
that being said, sex trafficking being it making it illegal.
A crime,
So the
yeah.
same thing
So
that
did he commit a
the
crime?
Andrew
Yes.
Tates were being.
Yes,
He committed a crime.
he's been committed. It's just a case of how much she's involved. But that's up for speculation.
I mean, the only thing that's been mentioned is Diddy's house. Like, it hasn't been.
Yeah.
It's not like it's in any other place. Obviously, he's 2 houses across states or whatever. But it seems like it's all been allegedly happening in his domain.
And what I'll say, the more money that he hemorrhages in this, the more stories you're going to hear.
Of course.
Because people are going to want to catch some of that.
After the 30 mil with Cassie, I think that
people are gonna try a
basically
ting.
It just opened the
When-
floodgates were
It's
open.
not coincidental, you know. It is true. You do see a pattern of things emerging a lot. You see this one
Like, if
person,
J Lo's
you see
career
another
wasn't
one,
where it is now,
okay.
she'd be saying
She'll
something.
probably be saying something as well.
Like, if she was a B-list actor or actress, because I hate saying actor, actress, like if she was a B-list actress right now and her films weren't really hitting, I mean they're not really, but I'm just saying she'd be on it too.
I think everybody's just keeping their mouth shut that because they don't want to be associated, because it's almost like you open your mouth, then there's going to be like, well, where were you when it was happening?
I reckon what people are also waiting for is for him to get very vulnerable. Yeah.
Yeah.
So as soon as that vulnerability meter just does that, that's when the floodgates.
What do you think that vulnerability meter will be? Would him talking and saying
I think him
it
going
weren't
to court,
just
I think him doing a trial and then finding him guilty on many fronts.
Yeah, it's just the optics. The
guilty
optics
this,
of him in
guilty
court.
of that, guilty of this, guilty of that. That is when the fire is going to be hitting the fan, because that's right. People, right, boom, he's down. Let's go. Let's go.
Do you think this? Because I've always wanted to wonder whether all of this goes back to Biggie's death, his association with it, his rumored association with it. Do you think that's
I don't think he was involved in Biggie's death.
Be coming out because there's people
I don't
talking
think he-
like, yo,
I don't
this
think he
guy
was in-
had,
Do you know what?
had all hands
the internet
in.
is a very dangerous place, fellas. It's a very manipulative place. It's a place where people could draw all kinds of conspiracy theories, fabrications, and run with it.
I definitely feel he may
And
have.
that's the problem with the internet.
I definitely feel he had some involvement in Tupac's death passively because of his association with Crips and the issues that Tupac had with
Could be
certain men.
argued. It
So
could be argued
I said
possibly.
passively.
Yeah,
you get me? But in terms of Biggie, I don't think Puffy had anything to do with that.
Yeah.
You know, I think a lot of that really was just down to the gang affiliation.
Yeah,
and,
man.
And I think a lot of those tragedies, I don't think they were associated with who we think they were.
Yeah, the
I
people
there
that
were
think
people on the street.
Yeah, the people that think that are the same
Do you get
people.
me, really?
The people that think that are the same people that think if Jay-Z wears a pair of Adidas, he's representing the Illuminati.
All of that kind of- all of that
just because it's a
kind of-
triangle.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I
Or
mean,
they,
yeah,
or
lazy
they find a triangle.
arguments.
They look at
Yeah.
the triangle, but I
Yeah.
saw a picture like this, that. He's put
Yeah.
like in his face. You
Like,
get me?
You ever get those videos of someone explaining what's on the dollar?
Or
What's
playing-
on the, what's on
Yeah.
the dollar bill?
Yeah,
The
yeah.
Illuminati
Guys,
pyramid
if
and
The man
that.
outside Labrooks.
If
and
you
William
guys are
York.
watching this, if you guys are definitely watching this, we want to know in the comment sections what your thoughts are on all
Yep.
of this. Who else do you think is involved in this whole Diddy's house, fiasco?
Don't you
And do
feel
you think
Jay-Z
he's
catching
guilty?
some
Do you
smoke?
think he's guilty? Do you
Yeah,
think he's
and
going to
who's
catch that
next,
he's
do you think?
smoking?
Because everyone's now
Jay-Z.
saying
Apparently,
Jay-Z's next.
Jay, but the thing about Jay-Z though is people listen. I did that. Jay-Z's come from like a lot of mad stuff.
Yeah, Jay-Z's next still.
You
But
know
the
what I
thing
mean?
is, all
I
of
always
these
feel
people...
He's
like
coming
he's-
from running in his corridors, avoiding bullets, ducking
Yeah,
bullets.
I
bro.
always feel like someone like, and this is just because of their lifestyle and where they've come from, like you said.
Yeah.
I always think that they made sure they averted any kind of mad conspiracy theories
but get
or
this.
even things that
No,
happen.
no, but get this.
I feel
Be
the only
careful.
one thing that
Yeah.
he definitely slipped up on
Yeah.
was when the sister Solange bust him in the
Yeah,
lift.
yeah.
No,
yeah.
get this though. You say that, they're going to be careful, but at that time, it was a different time.
Yeah.
Things were allowed to go on, like, you
Yeah,
get me?
yeah.
It was not, again, it was acceptable
Things are
in
more
the
regulated
90s.
now. Yeah.
So it's literally like, I don't know, a girl sitting on your lap, she gets up, you smack her on the bum.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about
that's
whether
harassment now, innit?
That-
any of that is going to still hold weight now.
No.
As much as all of that in the
trust me,
90s was happening.
Enough traction, and it will build. Because nowadays anything is, not anything, but harassment. You just have to say sexual harassment. You will never know exactly the extent of it,
I
but
believe
it's
this
still
guy's
sexual
money
harassment.
is so long, and has been long for a while,
Listen.
that if it came in the 2000s, that
Listen.
would have been hushed. If it
Listen.
came in the 2010s,
No, listen.
that would have been hushed.
Bill
right
Cosby
now,
was the father of America.
Yeah.
He was the most squeaky clean person you thought. He was everybody's dad.
And they brought him down in
And then look what they
spectacular
did to
fashion,
him. So if it could
But,
happen
yeah.
to someone like Bill Cosby,
Yeah.
it could happen to
But
Jay-Z.
do you know what though? Again, I'm not really a conspiracy. I can't even speak,
Conspiracy.
bro.
Conspiracy.
Conspiracy
slurring his
theorist.
slurring and
You know
making
what
up
I mean?
words today.
Fact.
Already put mercury in his
Allegedly,
Red Bull.
there's too much caffeine in there. Allegedly, he wanted to buy NBC. Bill Cosby.
See, now I'm going by that.
So hold on.
As much as
Why do people keep saying? No,
I'm just gonna put it out here.
I'm gonna
right?
go by that.
He wanted to buy NBC, right?
how do we know this?
So, this has been like something that has been buzzing around the industry for a very long time. Even from the Cosby Show days, Bill Cosby was a conglomerate. From then, he was the biggest paid actor in American TV. He was seen as the father of America, right? So what America don't want to have is someone of that ilk having that kind of power and control. Now, I'm not saying that he didn't do any of those things. I'm not saying that at all. But alluding to what Illa said, I just think that around that time, a lot of these things, a lot of these overt practices were just seen as just like, it's the 70s.
As wrong as they were,
Yeah.
as wrong as they
Get
were,
me?
even back then,
But as
people
immoral as
seem
they
to
all
have
were,
just
it's the
let it
70s.
slide.
Let it
so
slide.
how do you explain Byron Allen buying the Weather Channel then?
Well, the thing is, we have to know the ins and outs of
Yeah,
everything,
of course.
right? We've got to know because sometimes if someone's buying a conglomerate like that, it's usually a lot of people that are involved. Right?
I'm not saying you're wrong,
Yeah.
but I'm only asking that question so the audience can see we're smart enough to ask because
No, absolutely,
I'm
bro.
prepared to
Absolutely,
believe
though.
there's someone that's repeating this idea.
Okay.
That wait, let me learn. There's someone that's repeating this idea that Bill Cosby wanted to buy
Yeah.
NBC, right? But they don't even know who Byron Allen is.
Well,
Or that he wanted to buy the Weather Channel. But they're repeating that story. In fact, they don't even know the ins and outs of the NBC. I don't even know.
I just
So
think
they're
it's
just
associated with it.
but they're just repeating it. So I'm not saying you're wrong.
Yeah.
I'm just saying there's a lot more questions you can ask before you just run with it.
I mean, there's
Of course, there's
yeah.
always going to be questions.
There's
I mean,
always gonna be.
but one thing you said was when you start seeing patterns, i.e., Michael Jackson wanted to get Sony
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
that, I was gonna
You know,
mention
Buying the
that.
then-
Beatles thing.
catalogs, wanted to get Marvel, the Disney catalog,
Yeah.
which would have then in turn been Marvel, which would have then
Combined, I think it was $1 billion combined. I think the Beatles catalog is worth 500 million. Apparently.
so.
Yeah.
Remember, you could
it's-
you could only be so powerful.
Of course.
You know, so
And I think
once
there's
you
a-
get above your station,
Yeah.
it's time to knock
My,
down
my
a few
dad, my dad
pegs.
made
yeah.
my dad made a joke. He said, if someone invented a battery that never ran out, Duracell would have hitmen coming for you.
Oh, absolutely.
And he told me this when I was like 10.
Yeah.
So I've always
It would boost the vibrator industry, though.
It's like that.
Dr.
there was
Sebi,
a Nigerian,
look at Dr.
Nigerian kid that
Sebi.
Yeah.
invented. He made a car that could run on water.
Oh, yeah.
But then I can't remember.
There's only
Never heard from him.
Yeah, there's only a few of those that would make news.
Yeah.
There's
So
loads-
it's
again,
like
there's
those
loads of things that
things.
you would never see the front.
Yeah,
page.
Pharmaceutical
you know,
companies
pharmaceutical companies.
do not like
Yeah.
Dr. Sebi types.
No.
You know?
So like we're going back
So
to
again, it's going- that
to the thing
rhetoric-
I feel
You're stopping us selling our drugs, fam.
there's a pattern.
Depending on that.
There's definitely a pattern with these people. I mean, it's R. Kelly, for example. He did a madness. He 100% did a madness. I feel. And
Yeah, he
with
gave
the
her the liquid
evidence,
bling.
with the court of law says so, that's why he's behind bars. Now, Bill Cosby, he's out, right?
I think he's out.
He is out now.
Yeah, I think
He's
he's
out
out.
now.
Who's that?
Cosby.
Bill Cosby. They
Okay.
released him.
He's
yeah.
out. And now
out.
with Diddy, he still hasn't been arrested.
Nope.
These are just accusations which are flying out.
I also heard R. Kelly was out.
Really?
Yeah. Like, again, this is all rumors from.
Yeah,
the
let's not
internet.
run on rumors. Let's
Oh,
run
this
on
is
facts
comment
for now.
section logic. That's
Like,
what I call
this
it.
is
Let's-
definitely that's
So many unanswered
What's that
questions.
other guy? The
Rumours
short
that
guy,
was- he was out.
Tory Lanez.
Yeah.
I feel.
Didn't he shoot up Megan Thee Stallion in her foot or something like that? Didn't he cap her?
Oh, now I don't know.
That one is probably one of the most confusing things.
No one's given
Apparently, he shot her in the foot.
the answer.
Legally, he's
but
guilty.
apparently-
Legally, he's
The
guilty.
answer to that question is like when you ask a girl what she wants to eat.
That's true, you know.
Cause here the joke is
Can we get a little?
guy.
Because when I first heard this story about Tory Lanez, the first thing I heard, he shot her in the foot. So I was like, well, F that dude then, innit? Like, man, don't rate it. But then when I started listening to him on that thing called, what was that thing on the iPhone? Clubhouse.
Yeah. Oh, 2020 days.
And it's like he just kept talking and he started giving these Bill Clinton answers. Like, just like, did you do it or not?
I did not have any sexual.
But
relations
apparently
with
he
that
didn't
woman.
want to bait up her brethren, who was the one who shot her. And like it was then he was also trying to he was independent artist as well. There's all this stuff.
Yeah,
He's
okay.
independent. He found a way to not need to get signed, and he said, I've got the formula now. So I know how to make bangers. You lot could do it as well. All you lot need to do is A, B, C, D, E, F, G. You don't need to get signed, blah, blah, blah. He was pushing that narrative a lot, especially during the 2020 lockdown era when he would had that not TV show, the YouTube, the Instagram thing he was doing. Something radio, I can't remember. Quarantine radio, yeah. Kept pushing that, and everyone's thinking obviously big labels are thinking, right, if everybody catches on to this,
It's too late anyway because enough people want to come off of Spotify and all these.
Yeah,
DSPs
but this was
anyway.
But what's
before
that?
all
What? Bring that back to the accusation. Like, what did that have to do with him shooting up Meg?
no, then it was like Meg is associated with, I think, Rock Nation, and if you're trying to mess up Rock Nation's money by saying all this, listen, let's just throw this guy in jail with it.
Basically.
Let's make everything go against him.
To summarize.
and let's just
Oh,
put again, when you get too
I mean,
powerful,
her foot
knock a
got
few
shot
pegs.
though. That's a fact. We just don't know.
but
who.
apparently, it either happened, her brethren did it, accident, or something. But
So do you
apparently,
reckon-
he never even held the gun.
He's the fall guy.
He's the
basically.
fool guy, and he was there at the wrong time with the wrong person, and he's saying the wrong thing.
I'll
know
tell you
what?
this thing about
That-
being
that
a
doesn't sound as
street guy.
far-fetched.
Yeah? At that point, when it starts getting a bit too peak, I'm losing that title of trying to be real in the streets because ain't none of his brethrens there with him. That no
because none
snitching
of them
rule
are real.
doesn't make you come out
None of them
of
are
prison.
real.
And now look where he is. If he didn't do it, but he didn't want to
Bruv,
say he
this
didn't
is the
do it.
reason why
That's the
conscious rap
weirdest.
Don't sell, bruv. This is the reason why Common's never going to sell 10 million records.
They
Because
don't want
Common
it,
will tell you how
you
it
don't-
is,
yeah,
fam.
you don't want
get
it
me?
to-
There's a
yeah.
definition between rappers and MCs, and it's a totally different subject. But there's someone I watched this guy speaking about it. It was just some random guy from New York, and he contextualized it so amazingly well. It's a big difference between rappers and MCs.
Sounds like a poor righteous teacher
You
kind
understand?
of type.
One of
Yeah.
those kind of guys, and
Yeah.
the way he brought down that definition was phenomenal, bro. Anyway, what we got coming up next?
That was
What's
a good
our-
topic. That was a good topic.
What's our next segment?
I definitely go on, Wayne.
Good times.
We
The
are-
animation.
Yes,
Have you
let's
s-
talk about it.
Yeah, let's talk
Okay.
about
Wanna
it.
talk
The
about that?
Good Times animation. Now,
Well-
if you remember the TV show from the
Is that
70s,
70s TV show?
70s show.
70s
Yeah,
TV
yeah.
show,
Was it 80s or 70s? It might have been 80s.
70s, and then went into
I think it was
the
the Jeffersons, maybe. I think that was earlier.
Good Times was definitely 70s, I
it was
believe.
70s,
Yeah,
yeah.
we'll do some research on it.
Yeah.
If you're in the comments, do some research if you're from that era. But I do know it was kind of like, I won't say the Cosby Show before the Cosby Show because they weren't like upper class. Yeah, but it was a black family raised in America and just the trials and tribulations of a black family. A wholesome family as well, funny. But the new animation, which is being released by who? Who's behind the production on that, Wayne?
I think Seth MacFarlane's one of the people behind it.
Okay, so it's DreamWorks, maybe, is it?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
So
So
he's one
what-
of the people. It's on Netflix, or it's coming in Netflix sometime soon.
So now Wayne had a little bit of gripe with this one. You had a gripe. You had gripe.
I
You
was
had gripe.
addressing the gripes because the
From who are the people who are against this?
the people that grew up watching Good Times because
All
they
right. So basically, there's a TV show from the 70s, which was very popular, 70s,
Yes.
80s.
Wholesome.
Has now been reimagined into animation a la Family Guy style.
Yeah.
And now it's on
that's
Netflix.
What the controversy is.
So let me just contextualize this as well as I can, because I know when we speak about this, we're going to have an African American audience watching. Some of you may or may not be aware about what I'm about to speak about.
Yeah.
Audience, yes, I am familiar with the term ADOS. American Descendants of Slaves.
Okay.
And then the people that went to more Tariq Nasheed way, FBA, Foundational Black Americans.
Okay.
I got to make this point clear because it lets the audience know that we know. So basically,
that's important.
this will take about 2 minutes, if that. Basically, in America, right now, you got a situation where a lot of African Americans feel they've been hard done by because they're in America and maybe their parents, their grandparents, and so on, they don't know anything about their history beyond that. Let me not say they don't know anything about their history. Like, they don't know which part of Africa they're from because they was taken from it. Whereas a lot of us were from the Caribbean, other people, they're from West Africa, whatever. The issue is you get a lot of people who are immigrants that go to America and they'll go, a lot of the benefits and that they'll gain from being black, they get it off of the backs of the hard work that African Americans suffered during the Jim Crow era and all the rest of it. But they came as immigrants. So they'll come there, they'll talk about stuff like reparations, they'll get ahead because they're black and, well, we look the same. But technically speaking,
they're from another part of the world.
And then when they're ready, they'll be looking down upon African Americans. We've even heard it here. Certain women over here or Mandem, they say, well, let's talk about something. Oh, that's them African Americans over there. So what they've done now, there's a YouTuber, his name's called Tone Talks. He's addressed this. He wants a category for African Americans specifically so that they can address reparations from their perspective as African Americans that have been there from a certain period of time, which makes sense. So for example, if you're from Haiti, your reparations should come from France. If you're from this part of Africa, your reparations should come from the Dutch and Whereas African Americans, theirs should come from America. And that makes sense. So I say that to say this. A lot of African Americans now, they grew up watching stuff like Good Times. So when they see this animation now, it's like a smack in the face because it's like, this ain't nothing like what we was, you know, what we grew up watching.
What is wrong with it? I mean, what are they?
Well, it's a bit degrading. They got like a crack selling baby. Like,
so what they've done
is it comedy now? I mean,
it's comedy, but it's more like black exploitation.
It's under the guise of comedy, but what it is it's not being authentic to the true.
It's like Family Guy, but even more offensive.
I would say more. It's even leaning towards South Park. But what they've done is taken that original Good Times and said, this isn't them. This is the third generation of that family, still in the same.
It's the offspring, basically.
Yeah, they're the offspring, still living in that same house, and these are the issues that apparently that age group or that era will be going through.
Yeah, so it's nothing like Good Times.
Yeah, so it has gone a bit left.
But what I would say, if they made this cartoon and it weren't called Good Times, I'm not sure people would have that much of an issue with it.
Yeah, you think it's just the fact that they're using the backdrop of the name.
But would
the
they
brand.
still might be, you know, you said it was still degrading to you know.
It was, but the thing about that is, I don't think it, because if something's degrading, you just don't support it, innit? Like, whatever. But because it's associated with the Good Times thing, it's almost like you're getting back in history and kicking them in the face.
It's about progression.
So I get their frustration.
I do get that.
But this is what I will say. It's animation, so I am going to watch it just for that reason alone. I want to see what kind of animation style they use. I want to see where they go with the story. Because as you know, I'm doing animation myself, doing something similar. Not like that, but I'm just saying. But one of the issues I had with some of the people that were complaining about it, because it goes back to what I've always said about people when they talk about positive black images for black people and rare tear tear. A lot of the people talking about this, they're like my age and older. So they're like mid to late 40s, 50s and all the rest of it. And on my Facebook, they're going off. My friend Janks Morton, he made a documentary called Hoodwinked. I recommend you watch that. He's done a petition for them to take it off of Netflix. But my point is, all of you guys, all of these African Americans, you're friends of mine. You're on my social media. You're on my Facebook. You know I'm not on no coon train. You.
I love that.
No, you. No. That's what I'm saying. No. Wait, you laugh, but Tariq Nasheed made it up, and he done a remix of the song. Coon train is coming.
Oh my God.
Coon train is coming. What about black on black crime? Coon train is coming. Where the white women at? Coon train is coming. All white people ain't bad. We is our own worst.
Coon Trey. I'll play it to you.
Is there like a Spotify link that we can put down in the description?
Yeah.
So make sure
or-
in the description there's a
Here it
Spotify
is,
link
yeah.
for that
Coon
particular
Train.
thing.
So that's for my African American friends. In case you thought that these British people that drink tea and eat crumpets don't know Wagwan. Yes, we do.
Yeah.
So what I was going back to saying is, my friends on social media, they've got an issue with this animation, but you're on my Facebook and you know what I'm about, and you've seen my work and you ain't done nothing. You like so. On one hand, I think some people, when it comes to black people generally wholesale, we've got this passion to chronically complain about things, but then we completely ignore what's really
Other
good.
aspects. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Completely ignore the good times.
Right,
I see what you done there.
I see what you did there. So
Can we get a little...
and I'm not just talking about me. I'm talking about even African Americans I know.
No, dude, I mean...
So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Wayne gives it a 5-star review.
No, I don't. Don't try it.
Okay, so what okay,
Don't get him-
cool.
don't
If
get him in
we're
trouble
talking
with-
about
I won't get him in
reviews,
trouble.
what would be the accurate review?
It's only a trailer that's out.
Is
It's only a
out?
trailer
So
so
just
far.
It's
It's
coming
just
out. It's coming out in April, mid-April.
So
17th
what?
April,
So
I believe.
what they've seen, which is a trailer, I'm guessing.
Yes.
They're offended by it.
No, you could tell a
Yes.
lot from that trailer.
Yeah,
It's
you
quite a
can.
long trailer.
That's
and
why I
it is-
posted it in a group.
Yeah,
Like,
if you saw, let's say, I don't know, The Cosby Show,
Yeah.
and you saw what they did to it animation-wise, or let's bring it forward. If you saw Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and you saw what they did to it animation-wise, and they made it like this, you'd even be like, yo, what the heck? That's got nothing.
Yeah.
That wasn't how it used to be. Now, if you remember Bel-Air, the spin-off
Well, I was gonna mention that, yeah.
Fresh Prince, they did that cinematically, and it still played a very close part to
Was
the
it a bit
original.
darker? I didn't
But
watch
it,
that, but-
it was darker.
It was like a
and
dramatic
more
version
a
of
drama.
it.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
so
they,
it wasn't funny. It wasn't comedy.
No, there's
elements, but it wasn't ha-ha.
It wouldn't be classed as comedy, but what it is it's one of those kind of there's elements of comedy in there, but essentially it's a dramatic spin on that classic sitcom. But that leads me to what they should have possibly done with that animation. Yeah. Maybe not even making an animation. They could have just done a remake of it and then just put it up to date and given it a certain nature and another persona like they did with the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Because Bel-Air is a very watchable show. I think it's in its 3rd season now. I think there's already been 2 seasons.
Yeah.
of it.
It's still going on.
Oh, it's phenomenal. It's a
It's
great
an amazing
watch.
show. It's an amazing show. Hold tight, the
But,
showrunners, the stars.
but what I will say, obviously, it is a disrespect what they've done to Good Times. So, what I did for my African American friends, ADOS, FBA, whatever you identify with, I know some of you have a problem with the show called Friends. So I've made a remix, and we've
like
called
this.
it. Let's go with it. Fiends. So if they can take the mick out of you, we can take the mick out of them.
Got him!
I hope you enjoy. Come on. Don't say I don't have your back. That's all I'm saying. And don't let me hear about tea and crumpets or any of that stuff
Like
again.
it,
we
like
don't
it.
drink that. We
When's
don't
it out?
eat that.
When's it out?
I'm on your side.
You
When's it out, Wayne?
when the snow starts to fall.
With my crack pipe too, I'll be getting so
You see?
high.
You see?
High.
All right.
I like
Let's
that.
move on to
Theme
the
tune coming
next
on.
question.
I like that. Ladies and
That was
gentlemen,
good
What we
still.
got?
in the intermission, please don't forget to like, comment, and share and subscribe. Most importantly, to New Chat.
Can we talk
City.
about our Instagram page as well?
Yes, you can find each and every one of us doing their thing. I go by the name of Boy Wonder, BWOY
Why?
WNDER. That's BWOY WONDER.
Wayne.
My name is Wayne Riley. Art. All one word.
Lovely.
Easy to find. You'll know me straight away by all the animation and the glorious work that I make.
Absolutely.
Check it out.
And check myself out, ilamadi.tv, host doing the most, ILLAMADI.tv. I'm everywhere.
Yeah, man, doing your thing,
And
lighting
his
up their
Snapchat is
stages and
NSFW.
shit. And you can find me, your boy Lateef Lovejoy, aka the Love Prince, stand-up comedian, host, actor, and all the rest of it, with the NCC Mandem today, having a good time.
And make sure you follow our Instagram page.
Please
It's New Chat City.
It's
Make sure.
New Chat City on the Instagram. Please do follow
Alright.
us.
I can't wait to
We'll follow you
start
guys back. All the
loading up.
content is going to be on there. The
I know
YouTube
you're gonna go
is
crazy.
going to go on there. All of that links. So yeah, one-stop shop. You're going to find all our links there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think you should follow the New Chat City page on Instagram. Reason being because it's one of the few places you're going to get pictures of me. Because I don't post pictures of myself. I'm vain like that.
In fact,
that is
You know you want them.
even in the poster, he's just in the background.
I'm in the background like the final boss of Streets of Rage.
Exactly that.
Streets of Rage to Bumba.
Press A.
Okay, Double Dragon.
No.
press
Streets
A.
of Rage because
Yeah.
of the skyline.
Yeah, press A for the cop to come with the bazooka and clear out the whole field. But
No, we don't call cops out here, but yeah, for real.
Yo, all right, we got half an hour, guys. I want to talk about. There's actually two things that we mentioned. Just going back to the 90s. Lateef, I like this question that you had about if you could play the lead role. There's two that you guys can choose from. Yeah. If you could play the lead role of any 90s feature film, what would it be and why? Or if you could write an episode of a famous 90s sitcom, what would the episode be and what would be that sitcom? So if they said, you know, guest director, Lateef, Ella, Wayne, Boy Wonder on Fresh Prince, and what episode would it be, for example? Yeah. So, yeah, which one do you want to go? You want to go the writing direction?
I like the second one, man. I mean,
Yeah.
that
was like two questions.
Yeah, the two questions.
Yeah, so you
I thought
choose
a lot
which
about
one.
both.
Yeah.
But I've literally got an answer. I've got such an acute
So I'm going to
answer
put the
for this.
context in. It's a sitcom from the 90s, yeah? Or any era. Let's just say any era. You've been brought in to write an episode. What would that episode entail? What's the synopsis?
Okay, so
And what's the show, for example?
the show. Well, first of all, the show is a different world, spin-off from the Cosby Show.
It's a different world from where you come from.
Right now, first of all, that show was highly underrated.
Very.
That was one of the sickest sitcoms of the 90s. Okay. And if they told me, Lateef, you're going to have a directorial debut writing an episode, what would you do? What would be the story? And I'd be like, yo, these are highly intelligent, black, excellent students. Yeah. Take these boys, send them to Zamunda, to an elite African college.
Yeah.
Get the students that are in that Zamundan college to come to America. They play a role reversal and let's see how they all get on. That's what I would do.
That would be
I like
good.
that. That would be dope.
On location as well.
On location.
Yeah.
If no one has ever seen A Different World or do not know what we're talking about, just watch an episode on YouTube. There's quite a few, so just check it out and you'll know what Lateef is talking
Different
about.
Worlds, the spin-off of the Cosby Show, man.
Love that.
I think
Illa.
produced by a couple of them.
Amazing. I would be the what was the first one? Lead role in a 90s.
Yeah, lead role in a 90s movie, feature film. And why?
Anyone.
Okay. I liked Boys in the Hood.
Who would you play
Um,
and why?
you know
Absolute
what's
classic,
I don't
by
know
the
why,
way.
but I always. This is like a no Diddy situation, but what's his name's Morris Chestnut's role?
Ricky.
Ricky, yeah. When he was eating that ice lolly, I just always started having a craving for Magnum, the chalk ice, and I just always remember thinking, you know what, I want to go to LA, I want to go to Compton, and just walk around like you get me with just eating an ice lolly, like,
Brother,
you know, in
foreign
some.
for suck lollipop. Why for that? No, me
I
brother.
never said lollipop.
Why for that, me brother?
You don't put your mouth in them places, youngster.
He might go fly all the
Where
way.
you know?
He might go fly all the way to LA for that.
You do know they have Magnums in London, innit? You do know you can literally buy them.
Magnum, Papa
Here's the
Jesus.
corner shop. Magnum, and they're right there in the fridge. They're right there
What's
in
the
the
first-
fridge. They're
What's the first letter of LA? That is what you took, Illa.
Oh, wow.
No, but it'll be Ricky. No, without obviously, I would change the ending. But no, I like that. I just.
How would
like
you
that
change the
movie.
ending? What would
Because
your
obviously
ending
he
be?
didn't
What-
make it in it. He was
Yeah.
supposed to be, you know, the superstar that gets out of the hood.
Absolutely.
And you know, I would have obviously switched it up and made it like I do make it. Somehow survived that shooting because I always remember when they said Ricky and he's running. I always thought, what are you
to the
zigzagging?
side.
Just go to the side. All your man is just running straight. It's like you got a clear target. Like you're not even making it hard for them. I would have just like duck to the side or whatever.
All right,
but
so
yeah,
is that how you would have changed that scene? Let's say
I
that-
would have ducked it.
Yeah.
And then I always used to think, if only they had like a next brethren who pulls up to them, bang,
And then
every
does
one
it
of them.
back.
all of them.
Yeah.
And then that's it. Like they don't come back for revenge, nothing. Ricky makes it to the NFL and then he brings all these brethrens. And you know how like the Hollywood Hills you'd have those big mansions like, you know, like Bel Air and then it's overlooking Compton. So it's like, that's where we all came from.
look where we are now.
They're all living up
Let me
I
give you
just
some clicks.
I wish
for
you
that,
had a
man.
better, happier ending, basically.
Okay, that's all
big.
good. That's all good. Win.
Okay, there's kind of like two questions in there because it was like a series and a film.
And a film.
Yeah, you could choose one or
choose one.
either
doing
one.
both.
Okay, do both. It's all good.
So, Menace to Society. I wouldn't change a thing in that film, personally.
You know you done fucked up, right?
So you'd be old dog.
No. If I was in it, I would chat to the Hughes brothers and we'd make a sequel.
Okay.
And for those of you that listen to Papoose' mixtape, Menace to Society, if you've heard it, you know where I'm going with this. So you see the boy that was riding the big wheel? That would be me.
Okay.
And when I get older, I am on smoke. However, for a period of time, because I get these stories can get a bit depressing or whatever. So eventually, you know, I dabble about, you know, in crime and whatever, but then I say, you know what, enough of this, innit? Like, my mum, she lost her man.
Yeah.
My dad's in jail.
Yeah.
So you know what, I'm going to study law. And then I'm going to start getting into realising how the police be pinning stuff on us. Reading up on my history, learning how, you know,
Reverse the situation.
they started importing drugs in the community.
I like that.
And then I start working within the system.
Okay.
I realise it can't be. It can't really be fixed.
Okay.
So then what I start doing, I flip it, and I invest in creating crystal meth, and let the white people have it.
Oh,
and mess up their community.
God.
Okay.
I'm dark.
All right.
You didn't even just pull out the little pistol. You just went for the
Yeah, that's-
AK-47.
That's what I'm on.
And then you were just targeting, and you were just like,
Dr. Uma Johnson would be so proud.
I know. I write the kind of stories that would make people want to put cyanide in my.
so that's almost like
tablets.
a kind of
Alternate
evil-
universe.
Well, not so much evil. I can't say evil, but that's like a.
I mean, he's wiping out
Robin
community.
Hood.
Like,
I
an
write stuff like that
alternative-
all the time for fun. Like I'm doing. Anyway, I'm not going to say
That's
too
like
much.
a Robin Hood type.
But
vibe,
anyway,
man.
could it not be that you just wipe out the bad guys instead of like? Because the white community wouldn't
That's
have
his
done
story,
anything to
man.
you.
That's his story, innit? So
All right, just try to
I never
not
said-
get
well, that's-
anyone cancelled.
That's the other thing. I wouldn't have said.
Just try to help someone
I
out.
wouldn't have said. I wouldn't have said the
A
white.
little
community-
lifeline. You want to
Wait,
grab
wait,
it?
wait. I wasn't
No?
saying.
Okay.
I wasn't saying. I'm not saying the white community specifically. I'm just saying I just dump it in that community. Who gets it, innit? I want my money.
okay,
If
that's an
Walter White
interesting
can get rich from it, then so can I. Next thing, sitcoms.
Yeah,
Remember I
sitcom.
told you last time about that show called South Central?
Yeah.
that show.
I would
Please, guys, watch that show. It's again, it went under the radar.
Yeah,
But go on.
I would go more into detail about how he lost his brother because you know in that show he lost
loses
the
his
older
brother.
brother.
Yeah.
And then I would tie it more because it's in Crenshaw. Is it in Crenshaw?
I think
Crenshaw,
it's,
yeah.
it's in Crenshaw.
So I would tie it more into
Do your research, just in case we're wrong.
yeah. I would tie it more into what's going on with the Crips, the Rolling 60s.
okay,
And I will kind of fuse the story in a bit more and then kind of expand on the story. That's what I would have done.
Makes sense.
Because
Makes sense.
I do find those stories quite interesting.
How long did that series? How many seasons
It was
did it have?
short-lived.
It was short. I don't even.
on IMDb.
I don't think it was more than 12
seasons.
That's a shame.
No more than
'cause
12 episodes.
Do you know what? Honestly, I'm gonna go back and watch it today because I remember watching it late on BBC Two.
Was it on 2? I think it was on Channel 4, wasn't it?
No, it was 4. It was 4.
Was it
Channel
4?
It was 4 because
Yeah.
it had
Okay.
adverts.
All right,
Yeah, it was on Channel
but I
4.
just remember it. Everything was just the epitome. It looked like a real life version of GTA San Andreas.
Exactly.
You
And
know?
that's why I would tie it into the whole Crip thing and somehow I'd throw Nipsey Hussle in there.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
dope.
I would do that as well. Maybe his parents, how his parents met and whatever, and tie that into the South Central story. And
Is he from like an Eritrean heritage?
yeah. So his mum's, I can't remember if his mum that's American and his dad that's
father's
Eritrean. Or
Eritrean.
I can't remember. But yeah, so
R.I.P. Nipsey Hussle.
yeah, so that's what I would do because
Nipsey.
what I like doing now, I like tying stories together.
I like that. Yeah.
You know what I mean? I kind of got that a bit from Game of Thrones, and a little bit from Power as well.
Oh yeah. Pick up Power, man.
And I like doing
like that.
backstories as well.
Extending it, universes.
Yeah,
I like that.
Well, that's what they say. I think sometimes to write the best screenplays, you don't start from where you are. You go back to the beginning and then you work your way to the front.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And there's always side alleyways.
Always is. And you know what? It's so mad how that opens up your mind as a screenwriter. Or
Yeah.
even as any creative person. It's like, if you're going to talk about, like, I always say the best autobiographies are always ones that start when you were born. Or some people, they will start in the middle, then go back to the childhood, and then go to the present day.
Yeah.
It depends. But when you start back to come forward,
Yeah.
it opens up all of these elements in your head, and all of a sudden you start realizing, oh shit, I could talk about that, I could talk about that, and you've got so much to write about that it just becomes exciting. So
The best way but one of the best films they ever did that is Godfather.
Oh,
It literally anthology. It seems like an anthology because it looked like a mass of life happened in just those 3 films.
Oh, yeah.
But you got it, and it was like, yes, I've almost grew up with this whole person. But the way they thought, the way they changed, the way society around them changed, even the way they became less important in a way, you know, it's always like, it's kind of sad how something can become so small but started significantly bigger. And, you know, as the years go on, one thing you never can beat is time. You know, they can never beat time. And I just love how stories like that always show like real life, how it can happen. And obviously you could triumph and fall and then triumph again. But yeah, I love how stories are written like that.
And that's one of the reasons why, again, I mean, you know, going back to sort of like nostalgic elements, it's almost like those were, for me, and I'm pretty sure we all agree, those stories from that era always hold up. It's never, there's never a time limit on them. You can always watch them. You can always resonate with the story because it's the authenticity level is just very, very, very high.
And remember, a lot of them we weren't from that.
We weren't
from the city or nothing, you know.
But we still engage with the story so much. And Bronx Tale is one of my favourite movies of all time.
Love story. It's a beautiful love story.
Beautiful story.
So my TV show that I would direct would obviously bait is Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Now I always used to love the serious episodes where Carlton got shot or Will got shot and they're laying up in the hospital. Sorry, I think Will got shot. Carlton got robbed and then he carried a gun and then he started carrying the gun because of... I would have loved to do another episode where Carlton goes on a mad one. Like Carlton actually blams out someone that did that to Will. But because Uncle Phil is a lawyer...
hides that.
He would actually let him get off with it. It would haunt him, but that's his son. So he would have to somehow. He can't see his son Carlton, the young protege, the heir to his throne, go down. But he was there protecting his cousin, i.e., his nephew. He would not throw the case off, but he would let him get off. And from then on, it would almost be like a mini role reversal where Will can no longer bully this guy that did a madness. Like started off as this meek guy and nerdy guy, but he is actually...
does Carlton carry on with the bad boy persona?
He's not going blamming off everyone.
He signed Meek Mill.
He's now... he's no one to play with now. You know, Will ain't gonna bully him or tease him like that. The whole school ain't gonna bully or tease him like that. Obviously, that would make it... I would want to keep the comedy elements to it, but I would still make him like almost comparison. Hey,
do you know what's so mad about that?
Self-defense, whatever you want to call it. But it's a TV show. It's a TV show, by the way. I'm not condoning that, but I would love if he did a madness and Will didn't stop him. Because remember in the episode, Will tells him, "Give me the gun," and I think he ends up giving Will the gun. He should have just said, "Come off this," and goes out, gets his revenge. Uncle Phil gets him off, and now he's a free man, but we know what he's done.
And you know what? You know what's so mad about that? That will make a brilliant episode for the dramatic version that's happening now.
Oh yeah, that would be. That would be.
That just goes to
show,
like,
you're talking about this one would be for the original Fresh.
Yeah, this would be for the original
Prince.
But that's so good that could actually fit as a dramatic episode.
The writer in me,
what's even happening now.
The writer in me wants to write a crossover with that and Columbo.
Columbo, you know.
And he comes back
back every time.
decades later. It's
Carlton, back in the 90s, you said you, but and then you get Menace to Society.
Yeah.
And you're like, you know
you're fucked up, right? Oh, lead film in the 90s. Let me say there were so many great films from the 90s. I'm talking black films.
Boomerang, you got
That was on my
Boomerang was
head.
one of
That would
my
have been a close second.
favorites.
Yeah.
Boomerang was one of my favorites. Do you know what? I would probably say Boomerang, but I
Yeah.
wouldn't even change a thing. I wouldn't
Damn.
even change a thing.
You
I would,
just
in
be-
fact, I would want to buy that business, that beauty business that he was working for. Eddie Murphy. If you haven't seen Boomerang, guys, check it out. It's an absolute classic.
Yeah.
And the soundtrack is phenomenal.
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 100%.
Tony
Right
Braxton,
up our street.
the end credits, when the end
100%.
credits go, that Tony
That
Braxton
is
song.
what I would say the epitome of old school 90s R&B.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That soundtrack, everything on that soundtrack
Yep.
is
incredible.
what I would say is basically the playlist for 90s R&B.
100%.
Couldn't
And
agree more.
I think the quintessential black man was Eddie Murphy in that, and any other black man in that. That was Ebony Magazine, 1992. Jet magazine.
Yeah.
The outfits, the hair, the aesthetics, the powerful black women, the powerful black man, and just ownership.
Yeah.
You know, it was a black hair company, that beauty company that he worked for, and in the end of, I would love to have been in that role.
Oh, absolutely.
He was very debonair. He was very suave. He was
Debonair.
That's one of my
charming.
favorite
Yeah,
movies.
yeah,
of
that
all
is-
time.
Yeah, I would just say, do you know what? He just
Boomerang is
owns the
amazing.
company. He gets the girl, and bam.
Bam.
So we're saying
That's it.
So we're saying 90s, yeah.
Oh, yeah, anywhere. For me, it was that show. But anybody? Have we all answered?
No,
No, Wayne. That's what I'm saying. It could be anything.
Anything, bro.
I'm saying Blade.
Bad boy.
I'm
film.
saying Blade
There's
because
that
That was
remake
90s,
of
right?
it.
Late 90s.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
It was.
yeah. Boom.
I'm
Yeah.
saying Blade simply because, that film, that, like, you know when you watch cartoons or action films and the hair on the back of your neck just goes up?
Oh, yeah.
You might see a madness with Optimus
yeah.
Prime and Megatron. Megatron or Lion-O and whatever. But when you saw this, or Panthro in Thundercats, but when you saw it,
Throw, you know.
no, because
Shit.
everyone knew he was black.
Lion-O.
Man.
Yeah.
Lionel was my guy.
Let me make it clear.
Of course,
Everyone
we
knew
all know
Panthro was
Panthro
black.
was black, yeah.
Everybody knew that Jazz from Transformers
There's a flurry in a hurry.
was black.
Yeah.
Everyone,
100%.
low key, Soundwave was black.
Eject operation retrieval.
He was black, and he was a rider.
Shredder was black.
Oh, yeah.
That was Uncle Phil's voice still. So yeah, but I'm saying the way that Wesley Snipes played that role, he made it hype to be a black man.
No, he really
bodied
did.
it, man.
He
Like,
really did. He
It was
really
a
did.
fade for me. It was the fade.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
it was a fade, but
There weren't no
defeated.
fade, you know.
No, there wasn't a fade. It was like
yeah,
box.
for the trim. But it was
Straight land and sea.
It was because you know what? It was
Crashing waves.
It was a choreography as well of the fight scenes.
Yeah,
because them times there, that's when Face Off came out as well.
Oh,
So,
yeah,
so
yeah,
the,
yeah.
so the,
Cage,
the
John
fight
Travolta,
sequences. So the way that Wesley Snipes was seen in films as a black man, that would just make you excited, innit?
No,
and
he
it's that
definitely did.
he made it clear. Yes, you can do this and be a black
Oh,
man.
absolutely.
Like, so for me, it's always going to be Blade.
I love
I'd
that.
say Blade 2 was one of my favorite ones too, but the first one,
They're doing a remake of Blade now.
yeah, I don't want it. Yeah, I'm not interested in remakes of
Three
Blade.
was the
Yeah,
three
Mahershala
was the
Three was
Mahershala
dead.
Ali, I
Yeah.
think, is playing the lead role in that
Mashallah,
one.
yeah, I was just
No,
watching
that's
it.
getting I heard it's getting no, whatever. Anyway.
Oh, no.
They've messed it up. But anyway, and also Blade that launched the whole of the Marvel universe.
100%.
Like,
Yeah, I was gonna even say that,
100%,
yeah.
yeah. That was the first Marvel
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
movie. And that's late 90s. Like
Facts.
way before any of them
He
started.
done well. Think
You
about
get
how many
me?
people, how many actors must have wanted to go up for that role.
But
man.
like that was blockbuster.
To the point where
Blockbuster.
when artists draw a blade, when comic book artists or just concept artists, they draw a blade, you can't help but draw it in Wesley Snipes' image.
Of course, yeah.
You can
yeah.
try and draw these other versions
Nah,
of
it
Blade.
wouldn't-
Nah,
I know
nah.
Sticky Fingers from Onyx played a series of Blade. And
That got cancelled after like one season.
yeah. But I do rate Sticky Fingers for doing it still.
Yeah, I mean,
I can't believe they
a
cast
bold,
him.
It was a bold attempt because
You know what?
to
It's
try
so
and get
it's
anywhere
such an
near-
iconic movie and character. You can't think
don't
of
know how he
anyone
would've-
but
Yeah,
It's got Snipes all over
Wesley
it.
Snipes
Like,
doing
perfect time, perfect physique,
Yeah.
skill set because he's a martial arts.
Martial
expert.
art, yeah,
The
yeah,
skill
it's
set
like-
was amazing.
I can't
The
imagine anyone
aesthetics,
else
the
doing
persona,
it, man.
the
Like,
blades, the
yeah.
choreography, the fights.
and they were saying he's young enough, like he's still in good shape
Yeah.
to do it again.
Oh, absolutely.
You
Who's
know,
the guy that
and-
they got now? Mashallah Ali?
Mahershala Ali.
But there's been
Ali.
complaints about him not doing that no more, and stuff, like because the director keeps changing the direction of it and stuff like
really?
that.
So he doesn't want to do it anymore.
no,
Nah.
That's a shame because
Those-
he's literally.
To be honest, I
could
when,
see
when
him
I
as
saw,
Blade.
I started getting used to the fact that he was doing it. Even just the mock-ups they did, I thought, okay, he's not Wesley Snipes, obviously, but he is. Now I'm starting to get used to it. I could see him doing it, but now if you're saying that
Nah,
even that's gone,
but this is old news. This is like this ain't nothing new.
Well,
I'm telling
yeah, I
you.
mean, it was rumored to have been made for a while. So
What
in fact,
if-
I haven't
There is a
heard
new
anything.
Blade coming. There is a new Blade game coming up.
Oh, okay, Blade.
based
game.
off of the Wesley.
I'm not
Blade
sure
or-
what it's based on, but it looks alright.
Okay.
yeah. What if? Who's that guy that got cancelled? And
Oh,
I think
Jonathan Majors.
Jonathan Majors.
I think-
What
I-
if?
I think he's
do you think
making
he
his way
would?
back.
Do you think he would make a good Blade?
No,
I think,
no.
I think
Let me
he's-
let me ask one of our callers, LJ.
Hello.
How you doing, LJ? You are live on our podcast right now. Well, it's not live, but we're recording it live. It will be pre-recorded when we post it up.
You're live, LJ.
You're live.
live.
You're live right now,
The
right on
podcast.
this instant. LJ, we just asked each other a question. If you could direct any TV show,
An episode.
an episode of a TV show, which show would it be, and what would the storyline be? So I mentioned I would direct Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and I would turn Carlton into a gangster. There's an episode where Will gets shot and Carlton buys a gun as protection because of what happened to his cousin. I would make Carlton a bad boy, go done up that guy that did it to Will, and then Uncle Phil lets him off. Now,
What's that beep? What's that beeping?
somebody else call waiting. So, what would yours be? What episode, what TV show, and how would you direct it? What would be the
Why would
synopsis?
you not give me pre-warning for this?
Because
You're
I
gonna
want
get
that
blank
answer
brain here.
fresh and raw.
Yeah, sorry, LJ. It is a bit like in depth.
We
Yeah.
want the authenticity.
We want the authenticity. If you've got your head wrap on, it don't matter. Your bonnet, I want that raw
There
answer.
ain't no video call. Don't worry.
I
always
agreed.
reply.
Even if it's or the next other question, instead of that one, if it's too in depth, which character would you have wanted to play from any 90s feature film? And we're gonna keep it 90s for this one.
Oh wait. Okay.
Think Woo.
let's-
Think Players Club.
Or even
Players
TV
Club was
show.
nice.
TV
New Jack
show.
City.
Think New Jack City. Yeah. Think all of that. Think Boomerang.
What's that one?
Love and
Babs.
basketball.
Babs. Black American Princess.
Wait,
Yeah.
you're giving me too many words. Wait.
Jason's lyrics.
Halle Berry and that was hilarious, man.
So
I feel that she'd be more inspired to think of an idea quicker if she knew that Wayne was here.
Okay, Wayne is here, if that helps.
oh, that ain't got nothing to do. Wait, never helps.
You get drawn out, man.
I would have kept
kept your mouth quiet.
I know.
She was gonna say something cheeky
Should have
after
been
anyway.
inconspicuous.
I'm not gonna lie. If there was one kind of like spirit animal living on the other side, it would definitely be Nola Darling from She's Gotta Have It. So I've only actually seen. I'm not gonna. I can't lie. I've only actually seen the new version, and I've got to see the old.
You've got to watch the
But
old
I'm
one.
I'm judging
really,
her.
Which one's
really-
mad?
In fact, that might be my watch for tonight. But I
really like the kind of freedom of her character and the doing for herself.
I like
and,
that.
That's interesting.
There's a lot of things that she affirms in doing what the hell she wants. I think they kind of put it on the premise around sex and whatnot, but it's really more about her independence and being able to choose what she wants for herself, where she wants it, how people can access her, and everything else around it.
I like that.
Take. I like that.
LJ, thank you very much for that.
You're welcome.
All right, we'll catch up.
Isn't it ironic that Nola Darling deals with paintings and we work at Sip and Stroke?
That's crazy. I'm gonna make
That's
one
actually
more.
quite dope.
That's a very dope
love
one.
that.
Yeah, I'm gonna make one more because they were trying to call me back. Yeah, I like these answers.
Ask about the character.
They're dope.
Ask about the character.
Yeah,
I think the character question is the one that you need to go to, man.
Yeah, we've got 6 minutes.
Answer now. Okay, you had your. That was a very interesting episode, guys. We delved into Diddy's house, no Diddy. We delved into
I like the way we delve into
No Diddy.
the re-emergence of
90s R&B.
90s R&B in the clubs, and also
The death of
good
clubs.
times, the death of clubs, good times versus bad times, and with the animation coming out. Is it going to be any good? We don't know. We'll wait to find out. Wayne doesn't think it does it any justice for the rest of that Good Times family and the legacy. And then we asked each other which episode would we direct if we could have our hands at the directorial debut of any 90s TV show or any TV show to that matter.
Or film.
And and then which film would we want to play the lead of in 90s films or any other ones? We had some callers in who gave their input.
If you could also give your input in the
I
comments.
love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
absolutely.
We want to
Feel
know
free.
what character you would play, what character resonates with you, that you can relate to, whether it's a 90s TV show, 90s movies. Remember, it doesn't have to be, black 90s. It could be any, it could be, I don't know.
I'm just thinking off the top of my head. A thin line between love and hate.
It's a thin line.
I'd love to have
That's
played
my film.
I would have loved to have played Martin Lawrence's character there.
I learned a lot of life lessons from that film.
Bro,
Ratted.
that film was phenomenal. Can we just have can we have some clicks for Gene Whitefield, please? Who played the his co-star? Lynn Whitefield, I believe her name is.
Who's Lynn Whitefield?
I know she's in Greenleaf, innit?
The love, yeah.
somebody I don't know.
The love interest in the movie.
For
A thin line between love and
Thin
hate.
line between love and hate.
And as Wayne rightfully said, absolute life lessons. Absolutely, it just goes to show that how relevant actually that kind of thing is now. Obviously, that being 90s, shot in 1996, I believe, to the present day. How that can mirror so many contemporary modern day relationships or situationships.
Any woman that leaves a mashup cake outside your yard, just move house, bruv. Just move.
Damn. Ladies and gentlemen, please, also, a lot of these videos, if not all of these videos with the questions are going to be in the new Chat City Instagram page as well, which is...
Yeah.
It's new Chat City. Instagram,
Lovely.
yeah?
We're also going to upload it on the YouTube as well, ladies and gentlemen. So the small clippets are going to be in
Get
the
a bit of nostalgia
Instagram.
on our page.
That's it, exactly that.
And also, if there are any questions that you guys feel that you would like us to cover, feel free to actually drop them below. Let us know, and then we can kind of do a little bit of a brainstorm and give you guys some really good answers, man.
Questions, if they come from you, will be better. You help us help the show. So
Ain't
as a
gonna hurt
podcast,
nobody.
you get me? We want to get your input and your comments, but most of all, we want you to like, share, and subscribe.
Exactly. I like this loosened up version of Ween. When he sings.
Yeah, that's when you know he's happy.
And again, that's why you have more reason to follow the Instagram, because you're gonna see more.
I ain't
of
gonna
him.
sing on no Instagram.
Yeah,
Don't
you're
try
gonna
it.
get more of him.
If you think I'm
get
gonna
him
sing on
in his
Instagram,
pimp
it ain't happening.
Wayne is
We're gonna
happy
get
today.
pimp coat,
When
yeah,
that
and they're
big
gonna
kid
get
gets that
singing.
cheeseburger for the first time, starts humming. Happy boy.
You know what?
This
I
didn't
feel
even,
like a cheeseburger now. You know.
this didn't even happen. I think it happened organically. But Wayne, you are going to be the comic relief of this quartet.
I don't know how I feel about that.
I don't know how that happened, but I think you just exude that kind of characteristics because you're very straight faced, you're very smart, but I think you remind me of someone that, you know, you go and then pass it to the other guy and he goes and then the other goes. A joke me a run. A joke me a run.
You know I'm from Peckham, innit?
Doesn't mean anything to me. But, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. This has been New Chat City. Hey!
What a 42-carat plonker you really are.
We got some half-price PS5s, almost with Pirelli tyres, iPhones, Dyson Hoovers, fresh mangoes, no bruises, Air Max 95s, Yeezys and wireless tickets, fresh Mandem tracksuits and Mandem that will jack you. Gang, 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 gang. No universal credit, so we do ACs. Cost of living got me thinking Tories don't rate me. Even when I'm broke, I still look fresh, I keep it G. Like, share, subscribe, it's New Chat City.